written by and illustrated. Written by Neil Griffiths and illustrated by Peggy Collins. Fatou, fetch the water.
Fatou, fetch the water by Neil Griffiths. Illustrated by Peggy Collins. Fatou, fetch the water, called her mother from the house. We shall have spicy rice for supper. Fatou collected her large white bucket and hurried from the compound towards the well at the end of the village. Fatou, called Mrs. Bojang from beneath the shade of a tall mango tree. I'm so glad to have seen you. Here, take these onions for your mother and thank her for my splendid purple dress. Fatou hurried on towards the well. Fatou, is that you? Called Mr. Jatta from his hot bakery. Here, take some warm bread to your mother and thank her for my smart blue shirt. Fatou hurried on towards the well. Fatou, wait! Called Mrs. Darboe, who was busy sweeping her yard. Take these ripe bitter tomatoes and thank your mother for the beautiful pink shirt. Fatou hurried on towards the well. Fatou, stop! Called Mrs. Samatay from the shadow of the wide baobab tree. Give your mother these newly picked eggplants and thank her for the pretty yellow wrap for baby Mariama. Fatou hurried on towards the well. Fatou, wait a moment, called Mr. Toure from his busy bicycle shop. Here, give your mother these fine fish and thank her for my handsome green kaftan. Fatou hurried on towards the well. Fatou, come here quickly, called Mrs. Jamé from her colourful market stall. Here, take these to Lassie and ask your mother to make me a red school uniform for Omar. Fatou turned and hurried back home. Mother, Fatou cried excitedly. Look, I have onions from Mrs. Bojang, bread from Mr. Jatta, bitter tomatoes from Mrs. Darboe, eggplants from Mrs. Samatay, fish from Mr. Toure, and Mrs. Jammer wants a new red school uniform for Omar. But where is the water? Asked her mother. Gasped Fatou. Here it is, called her sister Isatou. I have fetched the water. You left the bucket at Mrs. Jamé's market stall, she giggled. Later that warm evening, the family and the children's friends enjoyed an unexpected, delicious feast. Father was thirsty. The bucket was empty. Fatou, fetch some water, he began to say. Shall I get it? Asked Isatou. No, I think it's my turn, don't you? Giggled Fatou. The family carried on eating their meal, secretly wondering what Fatou might bring back home with her this time.
The Gambia. Fatou's story is set in the Gambia, and that's a country in Western Africa. It is the smallest country in mainland Africa and it's bordered by Senegal to the north, east and south. It has a small coastline on the Atlantic Ocean to the west. It is named after the river Gambia that runs through it. And all these things we will find out about this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye bye, Fatou. See you next time.